Hello and a very warm welcome to yet another scintillating edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast on the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Maria Adu Zakari. Coming up, Trade and Industry Minister tasks CEOs as they take oath of office. CAC and FIRS strengthen collaboration to ensure economic growth. We X-Ray Limited Liability Partnership, a new form of business registration, plus annual public service games kicks off in Minna amidst pomp and pageantry. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Let's begin our show with oath-taking for Chief Executive Officers. 15 CEOs of various parastatals and agencies under the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment have been charged to display uncommon leadership in managing their agencies in consonance with the ministry's strategic plans. The Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Dr. Doris Nkruka Uzoka Anite, gave the charge during the formal inauguration of the newly appointed CEOs. The minister stressed that their appointments were critical to achieving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Hence, they should tailor their policies in that direction. She therefore emphasized the need for them to maintain zero tolerance for corruption, as their activities would be monitored and assessed. Also speaking, the Permanent Secretary Evelyn Ingige, represented by Dr. Mimi Abu, advised the new CEOs to acquaint themselves with the public service rules and regulations to guide them in their operations. She enjoined them to bring in renewed vigor to deliver on their mandates by studying the legal and administrative instruments in their operational guidelines, as well as knowing the limits of their power, duty, and authority. She therefore asked them to keep abreast of the provisions of the public service rules, financial regulations, public service handbook, guidelines for promotion and discipline, and Public Procurement Act, amongst others. She also advised them to cultivate good working relationships with their board and the ministry, as well as sustain industrial harmony in their establishments and uphold the highest ethical standard. In his remarks, the Director of Policy, Planning, Research and Statistics, Babagana Alkali, admonished the new CEOs to work towards actualizing the present administration's renewed hope. He charged them to ensure swift implementation of government policies as the ministry expects an impactful contribution from them. CAC Weekly reports that the highlight of the event was the administration of the oath of office to the 15 CEOs by the Director Legal in the ministry. The Registrar General and CEO of CAC, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji San, was among the 15 CEOs inaugurated at the auditorium of NEPC. We say congratulations and best of luck to all the 15 CEOs. Let's now move to the efforts being made to improve Nigeria's revenue as Corporate Affairs Commission CAC and the Federal Inland Revenue Service FIRS have agreed to reinvigorate their existing collaboration in realizing their respective mandates. This indication was given during a visit to the FIRS Executive Chairman, Mr. Zak Adedeji, by the CAC Registrar General and CEO, Hussaini Ishaq Magaji San. The Registrar General said the visit was to further cement the already existing collaboration between the CAC and FIRS, as well as familiarize them. Hussaini Magaji, who spoke on the Commission's mandate vis-a-vis its relationship with the FIRS, noted with delight that the CAC had created a platform for integration with the FIRS, thereby making the process of registration seamless. He therefore stressed the need for greater cooperation and collaboration between the two agencies that are strategic to the economy of Nigeria, especially as it relates to revenue generation.
Corporate Affairs Commission is a creation of law with a mandate to register companies virtue of that, is creating a platform in the Federal Revenue Service for its activities. That is why we see that our collaboration and cooperation is key to the economy of Nigeria and is key to the revenue generation in this country, aside from the legal framework, because our relationship is statutorily provided. We collect stabilities on behalf of Federal Revenue Service.
CAC boss also spoke on the need to capture and formalize what he called an enormous number of unregistered online businesses to boost the country's revenue. Responding, the FIRS Executive Chairman, Mr. Zak Adedeji, stressed the need to have a robust inter-agency relationship in order to make FIRS platform better. Mr. Zak Adedeji stressed that while the CAC registers and nurtures companies, the FIRS awaits the companies to mature before it begins to assess them. He further stated that the FIRS relies on the CAC to drive voluntary compliance by obtaining data from the Commission.
There is no gainsaying in, most especially in our government now, that we need to have robust inter-agency relationship. Most especially when you look at the role of Corporate Affairs Commission and Federal Land Revenue Services. Apart from you being a member of our board, one of my missions here is to drive this service through data. And I told you privately in our private meeting that the only major those people we deal with here is company. Because if you are individual, you go to states. Though through joint transport, you have some. But if you look at that critically, you will discover that you are the border. You give birth to this company by registering them. You're the one that nurtured them by filing to you. And even if they grow old, you are also the undertaker to bury them. Because until you delist them, they are still the company. So, for us, that we always wait for them to grow before they begin to pay to us. So the relationship that we have matters a lot. Most especially when we want to drive voluntary compliance. There is no way we'll be able to do that without having robust data, which by God's grace today, you are the one that operates for us.
He therefore stressed the need for the two agencies to reinvigorate their existing standing technical committee to interface more often to cement their long-standing relationship and also engender capacity building. The FIRS boss congratulated the Registrar General on his appointment and prayed that God Almighty grant him wisdom to achieve his mandate. Also speaking during the visit was the FIRS Coordinating Director, Digital and Information Support Group of the FIRS, Chiaka Ben Obi, who said the TIN was now generated for all entities upon registration, unlike in the past when the tax body supplied the Commission with the TIN. While appreciating the Commission for the introduction of online electronic submission of audited accounts, Chiaka said the FIRS was studying the possibility of having an interface with the Commission in that regard. She also used the forum to applaud CAC trainings on the Beneficial Ownership Registration, BOR. CAC Weekly reports that the Registrar General was accompanied on the visit by Head of Public Affairs, Mr. D.O. Inyang, and the Head of Protocol, Sani Idris Leary. Moving on to sports, massive investment in sports is key to attracting huge foreign investments for Nigeria as well as stemming rising insecurity. A former Minister of Sports, Barrister Solomon Seklap Dalong, stated this at the opening ceremony of the 42nd edition of the Federation of Public Service Games, FEPSGA. Solomon Dalong, who was the special guest of honor, stressed that in view of the huge number of talented young athletes in the country, The sector has enormous potential to earn Nigeria huge fortunes as well as reduce unemployment, thereby reducing poverty and insecurity. In a keynote address, the head of Civil Service of the Federation, Dr. Folashade Yemi Esan, charged the participants to not only compete in the games, but also drive further collaboration between federal agencies. Also speaking, the Niger State Governor, Honorable Mohammed Umar Bago, represented by Speaker, Niger State House of Assembly, Abdul Malik Sarikindaji, declared the event open, stating his government's commitment to ensure continued support for sport development in the state and the country in general. In his opening remarks, the national president of FEPSGA, Comrade Aloku Amaebi, underscored the importance of sports in unifying the country and charged the participants to imbibe the spirit of unity, respect, and fair play to guarantee a hitch-free event. The Registrar General and CEO, CAC, Hussein Ishaq Magaji-san, was represented at the opening ceremony by Glory Essian, Head Budget, Planning, Research and Statistics, Chairman, Sports Committee. CAC Weekly reports that Niger State had earlier hosted the event back in 2007 for the 42-year-old FEPSGA. The annual Public Service Games body has 119 affiliate clubs spread across ministries, departments, and agencies of government. Highlights of the event include match passes and cultural displays, among others.
Johnny Dembia is the director. Mommy, who has been with them for a very long time, he was there at Kwara State, he was there at Kano State, he was there at Plateau State Jos, and he's here with them.
As at the time of this report, the CAC clinched a bronze medal in badminton doubles. Congratulations to Team CAC. From sports, we go to business registration. We now shift gears to talk about a new form of business registration pursuant to CAMA 2020. Our esteemed viewers may recall that the Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, commenced the registration of 2 forms of business registration on the 31st of August 2021. The development followed the successful deployment of the online application for limited liability partnerships and limited partnerships. The LLP is a partnership arrangement with legal personality separate from the partners, and added the liabilities of the partners of an LLP were limited to the amount agreed to contribute or outstanding in the event of winding up. An LLP shall have at least 2 designated partners who will be responsible for compliance with the requirements of the Act by the LLP. For more on the new arrangement, let's now go to our interview segment where Mr. Justin Nidia-Biral, Director of Compliance, tells us all we need to know about the limited liability partnerships and more. Enjoy watching.
Mr. Nidia Justin Biral, Director of Compliance, many thanks for joining us on the program again.
Thank you for having me one more time.
Today we'll be looking at the LLP, the Limited Liability Partnership, one of the innovations that was introduced in the CAMA 2020. I know we've delved into it a number of times, but I mean, for people who are just joining us now, who are trying to make a meaning out of all of this, what is this LLP all about?
Well, first of all, let's start from the legal definition.
Okay. There's a legal definition.
There is a legal. There is a legal definition of partnership.
Okay.
Which says that a partnership is a relationship between 2 or more people carrying on business in common.
Okay.
With a view of making profit. What we could clearly see is that the limited liability partnership is a form of partnership, but we could also describe it as a hybrid business management organization.
Okay.
Yes.
When you said hybrid, what exactly do you mean by being hybrid?
By hybrid, we mean that the limited liability partnership takes the features of some features of the limited liability company, and it also takes some features of the regular partnership. Now, for the limited liability or for the limited liability company, for instance, we find that the limited liability.
Okay, so let me jump in here. I know we'll come to the features. But let me ask you, what is the thinking behind it?
Well, the thinking behind it is that this form of business management organization gives those in business some form of unique business management organization that has not existed before now. Yes. For a long time, what we have had is just the limited liability company and the regular partnership.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's come to the features that you talked about. What makes it different from other entities?
You know, earlier we described it as a hybrid business management organization. Hybrid in the sense that you could find in the limited liability partnership some characteristics of the limited liability company and also some characteristics of the regular partnership. For the limited liability company, for instance, you would find that the limited liability partnership is considered as a legal person, and what that means is that it can sue and be sued in its own name. Then it will also exist in perpetuity, and that it would also have a character of its own. It's considered as a person, which the regular partnership doesn't have. The regular partnership doesn't have legal personality.
Why would somebody opt for a limited liability partnership? Why wouldn't he just go for his normal limited liability company?
There are two major reasons why one should go for the limited liability partnership. Part of it is that when you look at the registration cost, for instance, for the limited liability companies, you pay what is considered as stamp duties, which varies with the amount of share capital that the company has. So in the case of a limited liability partnership, there is no share capital. So the capital contribution by members is not subject to tax as such. Then they also have another advantage of avoiding what is called double taxation. So if you are trading as a limited liability for company, trading as a limited liability company, there is what we call company tax. Then there is also a form of tax that is called withholding tax, which is paid when dividend is paid to a shareholder. So you could see that the companies, the income of the company is taxed at two levels. One at the level of the company, then the other at the level when you want to pay dividend to shareholders. But for the limited liability partnership, you only pay tax on what comes to you as a profit. Yes.
That's very interesting.
Yes.
Is it possible to switch? If I own a limited liability company, can I just switch to LLP?
Well,
so that I get excluded from this double taxation.
For you to do that, you have to wind up. You have to wind up one.
Wind up completely.
Yeah, you have to wind up. If you are moving from limited liability
to
a partnership, because they have different characteristics and different requirements. You are required to wind up with the other one. Then you register.
Will it require changing my name, or I can still adopt the same name?
You can still adopt the same name, so long as you initiate the process of winding up the other one. So
let's go to the response so far. I know this came up in 2021. 2 years down the line, what is the response so far? Are people really adopting this form of business registration.
As
Okay.
at 7th December
Okay.
2023, we had registered only 340 of LLPs.
340.
Yes.
2 years down the line.
2 years down the line.
That's not encouraging.
Yes, that is not too encouraging, considering the fact that when you look at the professions that we have identified earlier, legal practitioners, accountants,
The medical professionals,
professionals, and private equity firms.
Yeah,
We could see that there are so many of them. But I would also recognize the fact that prior to the time when this new law came into being, quite a number of them were registered. And either Part B of CAMA 1990 or under what was then Business Name Registration Act of 1961. So quite a number of the accounting firms, the firms of legal practitioners, and even medical professions were registered before now. So maybe the thinking was that there was no need for them to switch
Over again.
from the form with which they are registered already to the new
Okay.
to the new business management organization.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Are you also thinking that because it's new, a lot of people will want to see how it works for some time before they begin to adopt?
That is very true. That is very true. Some people would like to see how it is practiced before they now plunge in.
Okay.
Which is normal with any any new thing that comes into the society. Yes, yes.
Okay, so you're hoping that from 340, maybe in the next 1 year again, when we come back to this topic again, maybe we'll be getting 1,000.
Well, we are hoping that the figures will radically go up
Okay.
as a result of
Constant,
new businesses that will come in. Also as a result of enlightenments that will continue to be made on this form of business organization.
Do you think our kind of business environment encourages such kind of partnership to thrive?
It does, in the sense that when you look at the environment, for instance, almost every year, new sets of lawyers are called to the bar. Then even for the accounting institutions, also every year they do induction for their members. So even if we assume that the older generation of legal practitioners and chartered accountants may not want to take advantage of this new line of business, at least those that are coming in are expected to actually key into this framework. And consequently, we expect that the number should go up.
All right. We sincerely hope so, that people take advantage of it and businesses become better. Mr. Nidia Justin Borough, always a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you one more time.
We do hope you are now more informed about the LLP. Do you know that by the provision of Section 421, subsection 1 of CAMA 2020, the annual return of a company limited by shares or guarantee or unlimited shall be completed, signed and delivered to the Corporate Affairs Commission not later than 42 days after the annual general meeting of the year? So, have you updated your records with the CAC? Well done if you have. And if you are yet to do that, please hurry now to www.cac.gov.ng to file your return to avoid being struck off. The CAC remains committed to working hard to provide prompt and efficient service to customers in line with global best practices. And that does it for this week's edition of the program CAC Weekly. We hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helpline. On Instagram and Facebook, we're at Corporate Affairs Commission. On Twitter, formerly X, we're at CAC Nigeria 1. Our email address is cservice@cac.gov.ng. And our website is www.cac.gov.ng. Our call center is 070-8062-9000. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program, same time, same station. From me, Maria Ado Zakari, and the whole team here, it's bye for now.